What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna do a little bit of hopefully a quick little video about the number 3 rules, top 3 rules about knife safety. And I'm just gonna be using the zip tie for reference here. So number 1, definitely the most important rule of knife safety is never cut towards yourself. And you might think, well, that's super easy to remember, obviously, yada yada, I learned that in Boy Scouts, whatever the case may be, but some people forget that sometimes. So an example, well, obviously with my hands like this, you know that I'm this way, I'm back here. So never do this. Never take the knife and try and cut towards yourself, because when you cut that zip tie or whatever the case may be, that string, that piece of duct tape, whatever you're cutting, you're gonna cut it, bam, and go right into yourself, and it's gonna be awful. It's gonna be a bloody mess. Just avoid it. Keep that in the back of your mind at all times. Never cut towards yourself. So rule number 1, pretty easy to remember. Never cut towards yourself. Pretty self-explanatory. Oh, well, I just lost my prop. Hold on 1 second. All right, and we're back. So never cut towards yourself. Also, that could mean like this. You know, never do something like that. Which I know that may sound stupid, but you would not believe the amount of injuries I've seen from people just cutting towards herself like that or something. You know, it's crazy. So never cut towards yourself. Make sure there's always a good backstop, something like this that you can cut down into, or if you wanted to cut the zip tie in half, and let's say instead of going like this and going towards yourself, just go like that and go away from yourself. See? I mean, all you gotta do is just grab it like this. That's cutting it in half. Grab it. And, oh, see? I slipped. Wasn't trying to do that, but I'm not cutting towards myself. And now I even shook y'all. But I slipped, but I wasn't cutting towards myself, so I didn't even hit myself. There we go. Now the zip tie is cut in half. See what I'm saying? So it's super easy to remember. Don't cut towards yourself. Rule number 1. Rule number 2. Keep a sharp knife. Now this knife is pretty sharp. I mean, it could be sharper. I'll give you that. It could be a lot sharper. It's pretty sharp, but it could be a lot sharper. It could be sharp like this. This one's pretty sharp, actually. Well, this one could also be a little sharper. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is keep a sharp knife. You want to know why? Well, the sharper the knife, the easier it is to cut through stuff, creating less struggle and less, it's going to be more controlled. You're going to be able to cut through things a lot smoother. If you were to try and cut through a piece of wood, instead of sitting there shaking trying to cut it, you'll be able to cut through it smoothly, giving you more control over the blade. And that is the main thing that you wanted to have when cutting anything, really, is having control over the blade. If you don't have control over the blade, then what are you doing? You shouldn't be cutting that thing that you're trying to cut. And a really, really good way to maintain control of the blade is to have a sharp knife and to not cut towards yourself. And guess what? It's going to help you stay safe in your EDC adventures. So yeah, number 2, have a sharp knife and keep one. That way, all your cutting would be easy, less strenuous. You're going to have more control over your knife and your blade. So do that. Keep a sharp knife. And also, if this looks kind of weird, forgive me. I have my phone set up on my tripod, and the tripod's covering a lot of the screen, so I can't really see what I'm recording. I just know that my hands are down here with my knife and the zip ties. So if this is out of frame at all, sorry, but I'm hoping it is. So anyway, rule number 2, keep a sharp knife, because it's gonna make things a lot easier to cut, and that's gonna, in return, make things easier to control when you're trying to cut it. So like I said, instead of being all shaky and stuff, you're gonna be able to smoothly cut stuff. So yeah, keep a sharp knife. Number 3, however you want to do it. Or, hold on, 3, or 3. I don't know, there's a lot of ways you could do 3. Sorry, that was kind of stupid, but you know what? Whatever. Or 3. Anyway, rule number 3, know what you're cutting and know what's beyond what you're cutting. So this is kind of like one of the rules of gun safety. Know your target, know what's beyond your target. And you may be saying, why? Why is that important for knife safety? Well, guess what? I could think that this is a zip tie. Really, I know this is a zip tie, but I could think that I'm cutting a piece of string when in reality it's wire, and that could cause me to do a lot more struggling than I'm thinking I'm going to need to, and slip again and end up hurting someone else or something. And that's also another thing. Know what's beyond what you're cutting. If you're cutting towards if you're trying to just focus on not cutting towards yourself, and you're not even focusing at all on not cutting towards somebody else, that's not a good thing. Make sure to focus on not cutting towards anybody else either, because once you cut through something, you're not just gonna stop cutting through it and stop there. You're gonna keep going. So make sure to do that, and you're not cutting towards anything else. But for like right here, this is still gonna dull my knife a little bit. If I were to cut this zip tie like so, just taking it and kind of going like that, which is kind of hard to do. I mean, once I cut through the zip tie, my knife is going to be a little bit duller than it was because I had to cut through the zip tie and then it's going into the wood. But if this were concrete or if this were metal, it would be much more duller. So be cautious of what you're cutting into, because also if you were to try and cut something maybe in a stabbing motion like this, and you cut through like maybe it's a thin piece of plastic that you're trying to cut into, that plastic can be sliced just as easy as whatever you're trying to cut. And if that's like on top of your leg or something, or on top of your hand, or whatever the case may be, just make sure you know what you're cutting and what's beyond what you're cutting, because your knife is going to go through what you're cutting and then some. So that's why I always love to have a good solid backstop, something like a piece of wood preferably. That way my knife isn't super dull when I'm done with my project, and I can just take it right back to the strop and hone it up. So yeah, I know it was really simple, but that's the 3 main rules of knife safety. Number 1, just as a refresh, never cut towards yourself. And I guess we'll add on to this, never cut towards anybody else either. Never cut towards yourself. And number 2, keep a sharp knife. Don't just get one and let it go dull, and the duller it gets, you just get more angry with it because you're trying to cut stuff and it just won't cut. So number 2, keep a sharp knife. That's super easy to do. I'll probably upload a video about a few different, maybe not rules of sharpening, but just a few different steps. That way it'll help you prolong your knives and keep you happier in your EDC life. Because all you need to do is just keep it stropped up most of the time. Even though I've been cutting these things and cutting limbs and stuff, I can take this back to the strop and get it hair popping sharp with a couple of strops on the leather. So keep a sharp knife. That way it's super easy to control. Maybe not super easy, but I guess I should say easier to control. And you're not struggling against yourself, you're not fighting against yourself, and you're not going to end up losing control over the knife and getting yourself hurt. Number three, number three, you need to know what you're trying to cut and what's beyond it. And I'll say this at the end here, guys, I know it's hard to hear, but sometimes your best friend isn't the best tool for the job. Yes, knives are great tools. Yes, they can be used for a lot. I mean a lot. But sometimes they're not the best tool for the job. And sometimes you have to go get the best tool for that job. And sometimes, I understand, maybe you don't have the best tool for the job and you just got to make do with what you got. And that's okay. Just make sure you follow those 3 rules. Know what you're cutting. Never cut towards yourself or anybody else. Have a sharp knife. Make sure it's sharp. That way it's not going to be super hard to cut what you're trying to cut. And hopefully, with those 3 rules, you will stay safer in your EDC adventure. That is my ultimate goal for this video, is that y'all, as y'all have been following me for quite some time now, almost a year actually, and I've grown up to around 300 subscribers, that all of y'all, all 305 of y'all, would stay safe and have fun, because that's what this life is about this hobby of carrying knives, is having a fun time and staying safe doing it. So anyway, there you go. There's the 3 rules. Well, my 3 rules. I know number 1 for everybody is always going to be never cut towards yourself, but you might change 2 and 3 here and there and just change it around, but those are my 3 rules of knife safety. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe you knew it and this was just a little bit of a refresher. Maybe you didn't know any of those and you're looking forward to getting back out there with your knife and carrying it with confidence now. Anyway, whatever the case may be, have a good rest of your day. Remember, need what you carry what you need. Have a good one, guys. Peace.